Today I'll be talking about Open Broadcast Studio and some easy ways to composite multiple video sources together. I use this in conjunction with Voicemeeter, which I've gone over in the previous video, to mix multiple video and multiple audio channels into one single Zoom meeting, but it can be used as well to record and composite shows or whatever video and audio you want to put together. So, to start, Open Broadcast Studio is open source, free, can be downloaded from obsproject.com, and just go to Windows, Mac, whatever your operating system is. I'll primarily be talking about Windows today. Once you get it installed, and you might want to make sure your video card drivers are up to date because it does heavily use your video card hardware to accelerate its recording and streaming capabilities. But once you have it set up, you'll see an interface something like this. Now I'm actually using OBS to record this video right now. So this panel right here with the blue background, this is one input, and this is also, this one input is the entire canvas size. You'll notice that we're getting kind of a double mirror effect here. That's because it's showing me the recording and it's recording the whole window, so it's just going to kind of repeat itself into infinity. Inside OBS you can set up multiple scenes. Each scene has its own set of sources, and if I transition to another scene, you'll see it actually fade in and fade out two different sources that you have set up on that scene. So here I have only one source at the moment. It's display capture 2, and so what I've set that up, I've told it to add a display capture, and I gave it a name, and then display capture 2, once I click add existing or something like that, it'll ask me which monitor, if you have multiple monitors, which display you want to capture. So right now I'm capturing one of my displays. I'm also picking up my mic, my audio, and so you can see that it's showing my voice on the meter here as I'm talking. You can adjust multiple sounds, so this will pick up your desktop audio as well as your mic input. And so for certain circumstances, the Voicemeeter solution I showed from the previous video might not even be necessary. But this is more of a general tutorial, and I'm not going to go into too many very specific use cases here. But let's say for now I want to record something and I'd like to have my picture, my camera input recording in the bottom right while I'm doing stuff. So here I'll add another source to the scene. Now inside these sources it can be audio output, audio input. I can grab a browser window. I can grab any specific Windows window here. So I can grab a settings screen or something if I wanted to do that while not capturing the whole desktop background if you have other things going on or you don't want to show your start menu or something like that. For now, I'm going to go to Video Capture Device, because that's what my camera will show up as. And if I do, I'm going to name this one Logitech Camera. You can name it whatever you want. And then here, I'm going to pick my camera device. And so it'll show me, hi. And I say, yep, that looks good. And then I can drag this input around wherever I want and resize it. So I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can even push it to the foreground or the background with these arrows here. So notice that since this other layer, this other source is full screen, if the Logitech camera source is behind that, it's not going to show it. But if I bring it to the foreground, it's there again. I can also turn it off. I can turn off the Logitech camera. It'll still be laid out there, but it won't be visible to the output stream. So next, I don't really want to do a camera. What if I want to do something a little bit more fun? So over here, I have a application called FaceRig, and I'm going to boot that up now. FaceRig is kind of like a Snapchat platform. So if I launch FaceRig, by Snapchat I mean Snapchat camera filters. It'll read your camera. Let me I gotta get rid of this. Sometimes only one device can grab a camera at a time, so I'm going to have to tell OBS to let go of my camera and then restart FaceRig. Same with some applications in microphones. Sometimes only one application can grab hold of a microphone at a time, but while this starts up, give it a second. So this is the startup screen, and you'll see over here, you can see it has my camera here and what it's actually picking up and doing the face transformations here. You can pick a ton of different avatars, so you can be a dragon if you want, you know, or you can be this creepy burger thing with really gross looking cheese tendrils. That's great. Yeah. You notice, by the way, that my background is solid green. That is not the default. The default background, I believe, is this, but you can set it to any background you want. You can even, but I like to choose green, and I'll show you why in a moment. So, one other thing you need to do is go to Advanced UI mode and turn on Toggle Broadcast. What Toggle Broadcast does is it presents the output of this program as a virtual camera. So let's move this off the screen because that green it is a little gaudy. I'm going to add to my sources here, I'm going to add another video capture device. I'm going to call this one FaceRig. I already have a FaceRig set up, so I'm going to call this one FaceRig 2. And I'm going to tell it to use the FaceRig virtual camera. So this should bet you this isn't working because I already have FaceRig set up. It's already pulling that camera in. So I'm going to, I've already created it. I'm going to pull that same scene here. So add existing FaceRig. And here we go. We have the same weird thing. Notice that that green background, I'm going to change the background real quick. Notice that if I change the background to anything other than green, it is not transparent. If I go to green, however, it is. And I'm also going to change away from that spooky burger real quick to something a little bit nicer. I don't know. How's this? Okay, so we have this FaceRig thing set up. There's one thing I needed to do to this to get it to extract the green layer, and that is by going to Filters. And I'm going to move this out of the way. So in Filters, I went to Add, and I went to Chroma key, and it will automatically try to find a background color. So for this one, it automatically picked up that my background color was green, and it automatically removed it. So if I go look at green key, it says key color type green, and filled all this stuff out for me automatically. So I can, if I want to, I can drop the opacity, and that means that my overlay up here is no longer 100% a full, so you can actually see through it. But it will nonetheless remove the green background from behind it. So I can drag this down here, and this is where we start compositing things together. I can have a full screen thing here or multiple different inputs. I can apply text to the screen, and I can have all of that pre-set up in sources down here so that as I want to, I can just change things from one screen to one scene to another and have it just pull up different pre-configured layouts. So this is kind of pretty cool. but I would like to, overlay maybe a video game, my face over a video game instead of my face over just this weird desktop background. So let's go ahead and boot up this game I wanted to demo, Jackbox Party Pack. Let's make sure it's not outputting any weird audio. There we go. So over here I have this Jackbox Games. Let's turn this display, let's turn this one off for now. So now I have this Jackbox Games. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to pull this game in as my primary instead. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, I'm just going to do video or window capture for this one since it is a window. And I'm going to call it game. I'm going to click OK. And it'll ask me, hey, what window from all the windows you're running, which one do you want to actually put on this layer? So I'm going to tell it to put this games window on that layer. I'm going to resize it. And while I'm doing this, it may become more difficult to see what I'm doing in OBS. So I can resize it to full screen. And once you've done that, you will be able to turn off your display capture and turn on your game rig or your FaceRig. And now if I make this full screen and I move the FaceRig above it so that it's now on top, we have this thing. Now that's pretty cool, but it doesn't actually output to something that Zoom can consume by itself. I don't want to just show this whole OBS window. Zoom can share a window. There is some plugins in OBS that I've tried to do called Virtual Cam, which takes the OBS output and makes it a operating system camera. That should theoretically be able to be a video input for Zoom, but I have not gotten it to work. Zoom just does not like that video input for whatever reason. So instead, we would like to just have a window that shows this composited output of OBS and then share our screen through Zoom doing that. So if we right click here in OBS on the main screen and we go up to full screen projector preview, we just pick whatever monitor we want to full screen on. It does not like that. Let's move this off screen and do the same thing. So let's try that again. So there we go. Once you have it full screened, you should be able to, this is obviously kind of difficult to record and show at the same time, but once you have the full screen projector mode set up, you can go into Zoom and tell it to use that window to share from, and that window should have all of your overlays built into it. I hope this has been helpful in some way. I'd be happy to go into more details or answer questions, so please leave your questions in the comments and have a wonderful day.